Welcome back for another deep dive.
It's great to be back.
Today we're tackling a topic that I think a lot of our listeners can relate to: digital minimalism.
It's something that's definitely been on my mind a lot lately.
Yeah, for sure. And, we're all kind of bombarded with technology these days, and I think it's easy to get caught up in the hype and just sort of accept it as a part of life.
Yeah, you just feel like you have to keep up.
Exactly. But what if there's a better way? Like, what if we could actually use technology in a way that enhances our lives instead of just consuming them?
That's a great question.
And that's what we're going to be exploring today. So we're diving into Cal Newport's book, Digital Minimalism.
Oh, that's a great one. It's such a thought-provoking book.
It really is. He has some really interesting ideas about how to reclaim our focus and live more intentionally in a world that's, kind of obsessed with technology.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that really struck me about his book is the way he talks about how these digital platforms are designed to capture our attention.
Oh, totally. Like, it's not just by accident, right?
Right. It's not just that they're fun or entertaining. They're actually using psychological techniques to keep us hooked.
So we're talking about serious mind games here.
Yeah, think about those notifications that pop up on your phone at the worst possible moment, or that endless scroll on social media that just keeps you going and going.
It's like they know exactly how to push our button.
Exactly, and those little things add up. They create this constant state of distraction, and it can be really hard to break free.
I feel like I'm constantly fighting this battle for my attention.
Oh, absolutely, me too.
Yeah.
It's like our brains are being pulled in a million different directions.
Which is kind of ironic, right? Because we have all this technology that's supposed to make our lives easier and more efficient, but it often feels like it's doing the opposite.
Totally. It's like we're more connected than ever, but also more distracted and overwhelmed than ever.
Yeah, for sure. So what can we do about it? How do we start to reclaim our focus and take back control?
Well, that's where digital minimalism comes in.
Okay, so tell me more about that. What is digital minimalism exactly?
It's about consciously choosing which digital tools actually add value to our lives and minimizing or even eliminating those that don't.
So it's not about throwing away your smartphone and living in a cave.
No, not at all. It's more about being intentional with your technology use and making sure it's serving you instead of the other way around.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's like decluttering, but for your digital life.
Exactly. It's about creating a digital space that's clean and organized and that supports your goals and values.
I love that analogy. So how do we actually go about doing this? Where do we even begin?
Well, one of the things that Cal Newport talks about is mindful technology selection.
Okay, so what does that mean?
It means taking a step back and really thinking about the role you want technology to play in your life and then choosing your digital tools accordingly.
So instead of just downloading every app that looks interesting or signing up for every social media platform, you actually stop and ask yourself if it aligns with your values and goals.
Exactly. It's about being more discerning with your choices.
That's a really interesting concept. So it's not just about deleting a few apps. It's about shifting your mindset around technology altogether.
Right. It's about taking control and becoming the architect of your own digital experience.
I love that. So what are some of the benefits of doing this? Why should we even bother with digital minimalism?
Well, for starters, you reclaim your focus.
Okay.
That sounds pretty appealing.
Right. By minimizing distractions, you free up mental space and allow yourself to dive deeper into the things that truly matter.
Yeah, imagine being able to work on a project without constantly checking your phone or getting sidetracked by notifications.
Right, or being able to have a conversation with someone without feeling the urge to pull out your phone and scroll through Instagram.
It sounds so freeing.
It really is. And it's not just about productivity either. Digital minimalism can also have a big impact on your stress levels.
Oh, tell me more about that, because I know I feel stressed out just thinking about all the notifications and emails I'm going to have to deal with later. All right, well, when we're constantly bombarded with information and notifications, our brains release stress hormones like cortisol.
So it's like our bodies are in a constant state of fight or flight just from dealing with our devices.
Exactly, and that can lead to feelings of anxiety, overwhelm, and even burnout over time.
No wonder I feel so exhausted at the end of the day.
Right, and that's why setting boundaries with technology is so crucial.
Okay, so what do you mean by setting boundaries?
It means things like turning off notifications, setting app limits, creating phone-free zones in your home.
So it's about creating some space between yourself and your devices.
Exactly, and it's about giving yourself permission to disconnect and recharge.
That sounds incredibly liberating.
It really is, and it can have a profound impact on your well-being.
Okay, so we've talked about the benefits of digital minimalism, like less stress and more focus.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are probably wondering how to actually do it.
Yeah, that's the big question.
it's one thing to say, okay, I want to be more intentional with my technology, but it's another thing entirely to actually put it into practice.
Yeah, totally. And I think a lot of people feel overwhelmed just thinking about it. Like,
Totally.
where do you even begin?
Right, exactly. Like our phones and our apps are designed to be addictive.
They really are.
So how do we break free from that?
Well, Cal Newport actually has a really interesting exercise for this in his book.
Oh, yeah.
He calls it the digital declutter process.
A digital declutter.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. So tell me more about that.
So basically, it involves taking a 30-day break from optional technologies.
Okay, so just like a full-on tech detox for a month.
Well, it doesn't have to be everything, just the things that you choose.
Okay.
So, social media, streaming services, video games, whatever, feels like it's taking up too much space in your life.
So it's about identifying those things that are maybe not adding value, but are kind of sucking up your time and energy.
Exactly. And during those 30 days, you focus on rediscovering activities and pursuits that bring you joy and meaning offline.
So it's like hitting the reset button on your relationship with technology.
Exactly. And it gives you a chance to step back and reassess, like, what role do you actually want technology to play in your life?
Right. It's about reclaiming that control.
And then after the 30 days are up, you carefully and intentionally reintroduce only those technologies that truly add value to your life.
Okay, so it's not about like completely abstaining from technology forever.
Right. It's about being more mindful and making conscious choices.
I like that. But let's say you're not ready for a full 30-day detox. What are some smaller steps people can take to start reclaiming control?
One of the easiest and most effective things you can do is turn off notifications.
Ooh, the dreaded notifications.
And I know, right? Those little pings and buzzes are designed to hijack our attention.
It's so true. Like my phone is constantly buzzing and it's like, I can't help but look.
It's like a Pavlovian response.
It really is.
But we can actually train ourselves to be less reactive to those notifications.
Oh, how do we do that?
By simply turning them off.
Just like that.
Yeah, start with the non-essential ones like social media news alerts, shopping apps, anything that doesn't require your immediate attention.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you can even go a step further and disable those little red badges that show you how many unread notifications you have.
Ooh, yeah, those are the worst. They're like little magnets for your attention.
I know, right? It's like they're taunting you.
Totally. But if you can resist the urge to check them, you'll be amazed at how much calmer and more focused you feel.
Yeah, it's like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders.
I can imagine.
You're not constantly on edge waiting for the next ping or buzz.
Right, you're actually present in the moment.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about.
Okay, so turning off notifications, that's a great first step. But what about those apps that we do need to use regularly, like for work or communication, but that tend to suck us into a black hole of scrolling?
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Like, I'll open Instagram to check a message, and then suddenly an hour has gone by, and I'm like, how did that happen?
Yeah, it's scary how easily it can happen.
Totally. So what can we do about that?
Well, that's where setting app limits can be really helpful.
Oh, right. So like using those built-in features on your phone that track your app usage.
Exactly.
So if I realize I'm spending way too much time on Instagram, for example, I can set a timer that limits my daily usage.
Yeah, exactly. And you can even set it up so that you get a notification when you're approaching your limit.
So it's like a little reminder to be mindful of your time.
Right, and it gives you a chance to decide if you really want to keep scrolling or if you'd rather do something else.
I like that.
It's all about making conscious choices.
Okay, so we've got turning off notifications and setting app limits. What are some other strategies for creating more intentional boundaries with our devices?
Well, one simple but effective technique is to designate specific times for checking email and social media.
Okay, so instead of constantly checking your inbox throughout the day, you set aside dedicated blocks of time to engage with those platforms.
Exactly.
So it's like creating a schedule for your digital interactions.
Right, and it helps to reduce distractions throughout the day because you know you're going to have that dedicated time to catch up on everything.
And it prevents that feeling of being constantly on.
Yeah, like you're not always tethered to your phone waiting for the next email or message.
You're actually free to be present in the moment.
Exactly.
I love that.
Another powerful strategy is to create physical boundaries.
Oh, okay.
So like designating certain areas in your home as phone-free zones.
So like your bedroom, for example.
Yeah, your bedroom should be a sanctuary for sleep and relaxation, not a place to scroll through social media before bed.
Right, because I've heard that the blue light emitted from our devices can actually interfere with sleep.
It totally can. And it can also make it harder to fall asleep because your mind is still racing from all the stimulation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So having those phone-free zones helps to create space for other activities like reading, spending time with loved ones, or simply enjoying some quiet time.
Yeah, it's like reclaiming those physical spaces for things that actually nourish your soul and bring you joy. It's about creating a life that feels rich and meaningful both online and offline.
Right, because digital minimalism isn't about deprivation, it's about empowerment.
I love that.
It's about using technology as a tool to support the life you want to live rather than letting it dictate your every move.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of great strategies for creating more intentional boundaries with our devices. But let's be honest, change can be tough. We're creatures of habit,
Oh yeah, for sure.
and those digital habits are deeply ingrained.
They really are.
So what advice would you give to someone who's struggling to break free from those old patterns?
One of the most powerful things you can do is find an accountability partner.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, share your goals with a friend, family member, or even an online community of like-minded individuals.
So it's like having a workout buddy for your digital decluttering journey.
Exactly. And having someone to cheer you on, share tips, and celebrate victories can make a huge difference.
It's about feeling supported and encouraged.
Right, and knowing that you're not alone in this. And just like with physical fitness, consistency is key.
So it's about making those small changes day after day
Exactly.
and not getting discouraged if you slip up or revert to old habits from time to time.
Right, because it's all part of the process.
It's about progress, not perfection.
Exactly, and it's about finding what works best for you, because digital minimalism isn't a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right. It's about creating a digital life that feels aligned with your values, your goals, and your unique needs.
And it's a journey,
It's a journey.
not a destination.
I love that.
So keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep growing.
You know, it's interesting because we've talked a lot about the individual benefits of digital minimalism, like
Right.
how it can reduce stress, increase focus, and all that good stuff. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the bigger picture. Like, what does this whole movement say about where we are as a society, technologically speaking?
That's a great question. I think digital minimalism is a sign that we're reaching a turning point in our relationship with technology.
Like, we're starting to realize that maybe more isn't always better.
Exactly. For years, it's been all about more. More apps, more connections, more information.
Yeah, it's like we've been on this constant upgrade cycle.
Right. And we're just now starting to see the downsides of that hyper-connected lifestyle.
Like we're hitting a point of diminishing returns where all that digital input isn't making us happier or more fulfilled.
Right. It's actually having the opposite effect.
So it's like a pendulum swing. We're swinging back towards simplicity and intentionality.
Exactly. And I think that's why we're seeing this growing desire for a more mindful approach to technology.
So it's not about rejecting technology altogether.
No, not at all. It's about using it in a way that supports our values and enhances our lives rather than controlling them.
So it's about becoming more discerning, more selective, more in the driver's seat of our digital experience.
Exactly. It's about asking ourselves, does this technology serve me? Does it align with my goals, my values, my vision for the life I want to create?
And if the answer is no, then it's time to let it go.
Exactly.
I love that it's like we're reclaiming our power, becoming the architects of our own digital lives.
Right. And as more people embrace this philosophy, I think we could see a real shift in cultural norms around technology use.
Oh, interesting. Like, what kind of shifts are you thinking about?
Well, imagine a world where it's not considered rude to silence your phone during a meal or a conversation,
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
right? Or where it's acceptable to disconnect from work emails after a certain hour.
Oh, man, I dream of that day.
Right, and where people prioritize face-to-face interactions over virtual ones.
Yeah, it's like we're reclaiming the lost art of human connection.
Exactly, and I think that could have ripple effects throughout society, from fostering stronger communities to promoting greater empathy and understanding.
That's a beautiful thought. So it's not just about our individual well-being, it's about the well-being of society as a whole.
Exactly, it's about creating a world where technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
I love that this has been such an inspiring conversation. I feel like we've covered so much ground. We've explored the psychology of digital distraction, the power of digital decluttering, and the potential for digital minimalism to reshape our relationship with technology and create a more mindful, connected, and fulfilling future.
And it all starts with a simple question. What do you want your digital life to look like?
That's such a powerful question, and I think it's one that we all need to be asking ourselves more often.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into digital minimalism.
It has been a pleasure.
We hope you've gleaned some valuable insights and are feeling empowered to create a digital life that truly serves you. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.